everyone. Hello, 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 and welcome to our Magical Monday on Monday, November the 11th. 11/11, Armistice Day. I know it's Veterans Day here in this wonderful country, in the United States, where we celebrate those who have served. And if you're a veteran, I thank you for your service. In my country, where I used to come from, well, where I still come from, I suppose, it's actually Remembrance Sunday. And if you'll permit me and indulge me, I would ask that you just be mindful a little second while I just offer this up. They shall not grow old as we grow old. Age will not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. So hail to the mighty fallen.
Hail to the travelers.
Indeed. All right, let's see who we've got here. Let's see, because we oh my goodness gracious me, there's a ton of chuffing people.
The other way.
Hold on while we get to grips here. Where are we? Okay.
Sean, Gilda.
Sean, Gilda, Wendy, Logan, Peggy, Jess, Savannah. Gosh, where are we? Gilda. I said Gilda. Helena, Shana, Susan. Yeah, that's everybody. I think that's everybody.
Could you go back just a minute? Because, I can't write as fast as you talk.
I'm sorry.
All right, so I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Sean, Gilda. Logan, Peggy, Jess, Savannah. Thank you for your super chat, Jess. Helena and Susan. Okay, scroll. That's it. Okay.
All right, we're there. Hello,
Magickal.
Everybody. Okay.
All right, so.
Oh, gosh.
We got a lot to go over today, kind of a few different things.
Mm-hmm.
As usual, I want to do a little bit of astrology.
Of course.
And then I want to talk about our guest that'll be here next Monday to kind of give you a little bit of an idea of who she is, if you're not familiar with Rachel Patterson's work. And then we're going to talk about the Mari festivities
less than a week
that
to
are
go.
coming up
Less
this
than a week
Friday,
to go.
Saturday. And yeah, so the first thing I want to say to you is astrology doesn't lie. So sometimes things don't make any sense. And it may not be that the astrology is telling the lie. It may be that other things are. But anyway, I found this and I just wanted to read it to you, so bear with me.
It's quite beautiful.
It says, in the lost world of the Kalahari, Lawrence Vanderpost writes about living among the Bushmen of the Kalahari Desert. And he describes how shocked they were that he could not hear the stars.
Wow.
At first they thought he must be joking or lying. But when they realized he really could not hear the stars, they concluded that he must be very ill and expressed great sorrow to him. For the Bushmen knew anyone who could not hear nature must have the gravest of all sicknesses. For nearly all of the time humans have been on the planet, regular conversations across species borders were an everyday natural part of life. Sadly, this seems like a strange invitation in the world we have today. Most people have difficulty initiating such conversations. Perhaps it's because we've been taught from a very young age to perceive that nature is separate from us. A lifeless object, a commodity. This mistaken perception seems to be the foundation of our cultural ill. Humanity's ability to perceive the sentience of the earth is critical to our survival and all life on earth. Longing to be in conversation with nature can catalyze us, and perhaps the natural world longs for this relationship with us too. All right.
That's so true, though, isn't it? I mean, you think about how we
Laura
become.
on the
Hello,
list.
Laura. You think about how we become. We see things literally, nature as a commodity. How many board feet of lumber can I get out of that forest? Not that it's a bunch of sentient beings that are cognizant of your presence. We seem to have got out of relationship, don't we? But that's the whole idea of what Celtic is about. And we're determined, more so given recent events, to redouble our efforts to make it a place of love and peace and joy and safety and reconnection with planet
And
Earth.
that's interesting because I do have Celtica on my list. I wanted to remind people, so I'll do it now. I wanted to remind people that December 4th is Giving Tuesday. So if you know anyone who might want to give to a Giving Tuesday fundraiser for a very good cause for Mother Nature, we would love that. But meanwhile, back to the stars. Because
Back to the stars.
was on my list much later. But
Oh, well, you know, I dive in everywhere. I have
do.
to derail everything. It is my
All
way.
right.
It is my way.
So you know I said the stars do not lie.
They're just stars.
The astrology does not lie. Astrology is actually telling us to be mindful of lies. And one of the biggest things we have coming up over the next 7 months is being careful of really good AI. Right? So I don't know.
Deep fakes and stuff.
Deep fake stuff. Some of you know that I revere Louise Hay greatly.
Oh, yeah.
And I listen to her affirmations sometimes before I go to sleep. And I've noticed lately that a lot more of her things are available on YouTube. And the other night I found one and thought, this doesn't feel quite right. This doesn't seem like it's actually Louise Hay.
The intonation was wrong.
And then I listened really carefully, and I noticed that there was a bit of a weird Australian accent to the narrator. So we need to be really mindful. The stars are telling us we are going to be lied to. Right? So just be really, really careful of the things that you see, of the things that you hear, of the things coming out of social media and the media.
Especially that.
And if you need to take a step back, take a step back. Because I think that it's easy to get sucked into the hype and the fear, and just make sure that it's actually real, right? Step back and see how you feel. Does it resonate as real?
It's really funny because we were having a conversation this morning, because we talk quite a lot. We ponder all sorts of interesting things, and we talked about how news was disseminated, and how we came from supposedly the Dark Ages to become an enlightened species. But we're now exposed to so much information, and particularly so much misinformation. The ability to actually sort wheat from chaff, fact from fiction, is getting harder. And in a way that if you want to suppress a people, you just bombard them with so much information. They cannot, discern what is true, what is fact, what is actual, what is real, There's a good old journalistic principle, which is believe absolutely nothing you read and only half of what you see with your own eyes. And the trouble is with deep fake now, AI as is, you can grab somebody's voice and you can clone it, so to speak, and have a recording of them speaking something. But you've got to have the ability to discern. Lisa has got a musician's ear. She's a singer, yeah? So she was able to really tune into the subtle nuances, but it ain't that good to tune into those subtle nuances, and the voice print, if you will, failed. It wasn't perfect. And even though, you can see all sorts of videos with artificial voices on them,
you know them right away. They kind of still sound a little bit awkward.
It's getting better. It's getting better. But if you you've got to look closely. And this is when we teach the Craft of the Wise class, You don't just see, you've got to observe. You've got to observe. You've got to look at things really, really closely. and again. And don't just take the first thing. Don't just parrot something that somebody else said to you or they read somewhere or whatever. Take time to dig into it. Look at your sources. You know, these things are really important. I mean, we don't teach kids critical thinking, and we need to. Otherwise, you know, we just become an exploited people. You know? But anyway, we're here to talk about positive stuff.
Well, so, I don't know. I'm going to talk about.
We're going to try and talk about some
astrology.
Positive stuff. Yeah.
All right. So we know we're still experiencing Al Ghul, right? It's still being triggered or set off by Uranus. We know that Uranus is expect the unexpected. So we really have to understand that as this once in many lifetimes astrology is happening simultaneously with this 84-year Uranus cycle, we are more than likely going to witness things that people have never seen before, right? Because although we do have empirical evidence for actual cycles of things, there are combinations that we've never witnessed. So, you know, for example, Pluto moving into Aquarius only happens about once every 210, 250 years. So there's nobody here alive that's over 200 years old. And yes, we have empirical evidence, but at the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, the other planets were in different configurations. So we are witnessing one-time events, and we are going to be witnessing things that we have never seen before. And again, it's really important to discern what is real and what is not, and really be mindful of things that could be AI. All right? So on the 19th of this month, Pluto will move into Aquarius. It will leave Capricorn and move into Aquarius, and it will be there for 20 years.
Wow.
From 2024 to 2044.
Wow.
And we know when a planet is going to leave a sign, it does that move in, retrograde, move in. So we had a tiny taste of what AI is going to deliver back when Pluto went in to Aquarius briefly this past year. So we need to be ready. We need to be, mindful. Pluto in Aquarius also awakens a humanitarian effort where people are going to work to be bonded with their tribe, right? So although there is a huge working going on to try to divide, astrology is trying to unite.
Unite to a cause, specifically.
Right.
A humanitarian cause.
I don't know that we're going to see one people. It would be nice. But it reminds me of that song, Smile on Your Brother and Everybody Come Together and Try to Love One Another. A very 60s kind of thing. The other thing, the configuration of Uranus and Pluto together are asking is freedom, a love of nature, and possible revolution. We know that Uranus says to expect the unexpected. And Pluto is definitely this power to the people kind of energy in Aquarius.
Yeah, we would, if I can just interject without throwing you off your thing. This was also something we were talking about, what begats revolution. And it's almost always where you get this massive consolidation of power, wealth, and influence. And the majority of people, like when it tips where there's like 98% of the people have nothing, then the 2% find themselves in danger. That's what happened in France. It's what happened in 1776 with the American Revolution against the British monarchy that was absolutely exploiting everybody over here. So the distribution of wealth is perverse now. It's absolutely perverse, you know. It just mind numbing. I don't want to. No, but but something will give.
I'm not here to be gloom and doom.
No,
I'm here to uplift and inform.
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be positive.
All
positive.
So planets offer us information, right? They offer us information. And the way to be a successful interpreter of that is to say, what is available and how can I harness it, right? So astrology is kind of like, I liken it to going to the pantry. What's in here and what can I make with it, right?
What's for dinner?
So if we know in advance, we're trying to be faked out. Somebody has given us tofurkey here for Thanksgiving. They're trying to fake us out. If we know in advance, we can either accept it or call it out for what it is. So there's going to be this push, this next transition from the end of this year to July, August of next year. Some really interesting things are happening. I'll give you 2 times to really mark on your calendar now. April 2025, when Mars finally leaves Mama Bear Cancer and moves into Leo. There's going to be something that comes front and center, something that gets pushed out in public. Then the next time to watch is July, the first week in July 2025, because we have Uranus finally moving into Gemini, right? And it's going to be the United States Uranus return. But here is where we have to really expect the unexpected. And there's going to be some wild stuff going on with journalism. And again, our discernment is going to be really important. So next week, the 19th, big shift happening that brings on a 20-year generational shift. Right? April, when we have to finally don't suffer this Mars in Cancer anymore. We have Mars in Leo for a bit, but then it's going to retrograde back into Cancer before it finally moves off. This coming full moon is known as the mourning moon, M-O-U-R-N, again, to honor the fallen, to mourn the ancestors, and that kind of thing. And I'm watching the time.
We're good.
And on the 25th, we get Mercury retrograde. So we're already in that 2 weeks before Mercury retrograde window.
Yes, things tend to go a bit pear-shaped.
And Mercury's going to be in Sagittarius, opposing Pluto. I expect that these next 2 weeks leading up, the retrograde itself, I fear that there's going to, I say fear, but I'm telling you what's in the pantry. Communication is going to be messed up. Travel is going to be messed up. There's going to be delays for holiday travel for not just Thanksgiving, but for December's holidays and into the new year, because, you know, Mercury's retrograde for 30 days, but we have that 2 weeks in, 2 weeks out. So we're talking about from now till the middle of January.
Yeah,
right?
Could be something as daft as a little computer glitch failed to upgrade in, you know, an air traffic control system, and you wind up with a ground stop, and no, you know,
well,
then things get backed up forever.
I just feel that it's going to be something unusual, right? When I take all the words, Uranus, Pluto, Mars, Mercury retrograde, Jupiter in Gemini, trying to convey justice, trying to expand things, okay? There, and you got solar storms happening as well.
Oh.
So we're going to have unusual things with computers, unusual things with communication, AI strange, even more strange kind of things coming. You know, like we're living in some bizarre video game, right? And I think that travel may be difficult. I'm not saying hibernate. I'm just saying that I think with everything that's going on, if you don't have to travel far for the holidays,
Probably best.
or if you are going to travel, give yourself lead time either side, right? A couple days grace to get there, and a couple days grace before you have to make it home for work.
Yeah.
Because I think there's going to be, power outages, that kind of thing. And the other thing I would say again is, I've talked about this a long time ago. I said, try to have some cash on hand because your credit card systems might be screwed up, banking might be screwed up. Eventually it'll get fixed, but it doesn't have to help you in the moment when you're trying to buy a gallon of gas or whatever, right? So forewarned is forearmed. We know what's in the pantry. It's an unusual tasting conglomeration of things. So pay really close attention. Listen to people, right? And be careful about being duped, right? Work to connect to your tribe and reality, right? Because we all can see this, like, zombie apocalypse is upon us, right? People are distracted. People are misinformed. People are driving like crazy people.
Oh, God, I know.
This is going to intensify as the Mercury retrograde comes into this play, right? We've already got expect the unexpected. We've already got destroy, recreate, and expose. We've already got expand that. We've already got this mama bear thing going on.
Being attacked by Mars, yeah.
Yeah, being attacked by things. And now we're going to have
it's
Mercury
not
retrograde.
Comfortable astrologically. Let's say that. It's not a comfortable
It's very unusual is the thing. We don't usually experience all of these shifts. But, I've talked about this before, too, that the outer planets are moving from earth and water into air and fire. So you might find it a little like a shift, right? A shift.
Yeah.
And
interesting times, eh?
And then in 2025, Neptune is going to leave its ruling planet of Pisces. Neptune has been in Pisces since 2011. So we've had quite a, 2 decades, right?
Well, it probably would be about 3 decades, because you think about it, a decade is probably an act, and the play always takes 3 acts, doesn't it?
Well,
introduce the hero, torture the hero overcomes.
It's 13 years. No, it's 13 years. It's a decade. Sorry, I apologize. In 2025, 1 decade, it's going to move into Aries. Neptune and Aries don't like each other particularly well either. Right?
It's
Neptune is
times.
the deepest of the deep water, and now it's going to meet Aries. Ready, shoot, aim, fire.
Well, Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces, right?
Yeah, Jupiter was the old ruler.
Yeah, so Pisces is that very deep, I feel things at a much deeper level, I can be hurt more deeply than anybody else, but conversely, they can love perhaps more intensely than
the interesting positive part of this is Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto are going to move into harmonious configuration for a while. Neptune's going to be in Aries, and air and fire get along very well. Uranus is going to be in Gemini, and Pluto's going to be in Aquarius. So Neptune will trine. Uranus and Pluto will trine, and Neptune will be in a positive aspect sextile. Okay. Anyway.
There you go.
So when Uranus moves, it's into Gemini and trines that Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto's saying, hey, what's here? What do we need to activate? What do we need to expose? And Uranus is saying, oh, I'm here to say, let's stand up for what's right. And Pluto's saying, well, I'm here to stand up for the people. So 2025 is going to be an interesting stand up for what's right for the people versus some of these other wackadoodle, unusual pressures. And I just think that the next 6 to 8 months are going to be terribly interesting.
Which, of course, is a curse,
Right.
Interesting times. But they are interesting times, There's many things, if you'd have had on your bingo card, it would have been surprised, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You think about what we've seen, what we've been through. Hang on in there, people, and remember that the strongest force in the entire universe is love. Nothing overcomes it. Nothing overcomes it. And, in a world where you can be anything, and I understand a lot of people feel hurt and crushed and demoralized and frightened and displaced and unrepresented, etc., etc., etc. But, be kind. Be kind to everything, everybody, and especially yourself. And
love is the law. Love conquers all.
That starts to repair things. Because kindness is the thing that makes things better. Hate makes things worse. Anger makes things worse. It's difficult. We both feel it too. It's difficult, but we recognise that we just got to try and bring our community together and do what we can to make people's lives better.
Right. It's really, really important we don't overreact.
Yes.
But it is important that we respond.
It is.
Right?
We don't lose our heads.
If we perceive a threat, we respond to that logically and kindly. Do not overreact to a threat, perceived or otherwise, right? Because you just start spiraling it. So you have to get your footing and respond.
True that. Right. Well,
right,
where
so
the heck are we?
I've been talking a ton.
And we haven't talked about the Mary we're talking.
We're not going to
Rachel.
talk about Mary. We're going to talk about this next.
We're going to talk about. You want me to read this?
I want you to read this. This is our guest next Monday.
All right. Then.
We have a witch from the UK next Monday.
Rachel Patterson. By all accounts, she knows her onions. Let me tell you. Now, we need to, because we're in the run-up to the Mercury retrograde thing, we need to actually just make sure that we can do this. I may find one of our willing friends, one of our community or whatever, to be a guinea pig for us. So we just do a quick technical work through to make sure it works. We have the technology. We just need to make sure we've got it all working. So anyway. So Rachel Patterson, in this exploration of hedge witchery, Rachel gives us a deep dive into the details, magic and benefits of hedge riding, born from years of experience. The practical nature of the book and Rachel's expert knowledge of herbs, candles and much more provides a solid foundation in this vital and underused process of travelling to realms and worlds outside of our own. With her down-to-earth advice, examples and guidance, Hedge Witch will prove to be a valuable resource you want to dip into for years to come. Hedge Witch and the Art of Hedge Riding, which is her book, is taking you literally over the hedge into the other world.
So we'll be taking pre-orders for this because they're coming from the UK.
Yes, I don't know. Has it been released yet, or is it?
I don't know. Anyway,
it's on the verge of. Anyway, so yes,
we'll find out more next week.
We'll find out more next week. We hope we've got maybe at least one copy of the book by next week. We'll see what we can do.
No way.
No way. well, it's always good to be prepared. So yeah, taking you over the hedge into the other world and the art of hedge riding, covering boundaries, liminal spaces, and spirit of place, along with a guidance to step over the hedge, hallowing the compass and treading the mill. This book offers useful information on hedgerow herbs and plants, all of which can be used in your hedge witchery. Rachel Patterson is an English witch who has been walking the pagan pathway for well over 30 years. She has over 30 books published so far, some of them becoming bestsellers. Rachel gives talks to pagan groups and runs workshops with the Kitchen Witch Coven, of which she's High Priestess, an elder for the Kitchen Witch online school of witchcraft. She's host of the Pagan Portal podcast, which airs twice a month. And she's going to be great to have on.
Yeah.
Who was interviewing who? Rachel writes a regular column for Fate and Fortune magazine and for Pagan Dawn. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Next week.
I really am. And we need to do more of that. We need to network with more kindred spirits, wherever they are, over the world.
Our tribe. You got to find your tribe.
Connect with your tribe. Connect with your tribe.
So I'm going to tell you in advance that this is a really special opportunity that we have to host these guests.
Yeah.
And be able to ask questions. These interviews will be like little mini workshops. You can go on to Phoenix, F-E-N-I-X, Flames website and look at the front and back of the book so you can get a little idea and other books that she's published, and let yourself have this little mini workshop. We may not do individual readings because we only have an hour and it's more important that we get to take advantage of this really good opportunity to speak with someone who has this kind of experience and knowledge. So we may not do individual readings while we have our guests on, but we will certainly pull card of the week for you.
Oh yeah, at least.
All right.
At least.
So now the next big thing we want to talk about is the Mari.
Yes. To address your question quickly, Laura, before we go there, just be here when we start at 12. I don't know, but she's going to be on either for the whole broadcast or at least part of it. But exact timing, I don't know yet. But it'll be our regular broadcast at 12.
Magickal Mondays, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. The Mari Lloyd.
So, Saturday night, some people are going to meet at the shop at 5. And people who really want to be part of like carpooling or organizing could come to the shop at 5. People who want to just enjoy the Mari's wassail, go to Bad Seed Cider,
43 Bailey's Gap Road
in Highland,
just off 4455.
So go there by 6 o'clock. And then we will arrive and have our mythic role playing and the Mari wassail, and a hell of a good time will be had by all.
So for those of you who don't know, we put them together yesterday. We've got these lovely commemorative mugs, which is like a little 4-ounce sort of
My face in
beer
your
mug.
glass.
Yeah, my face in your glass, which has got the picture of the Mari and the first annual Mari Bead Newith wassail, and it comes on a lanyard, a red and white lanyard, a red lanyard, and it's just, you can hang it around your neck, and it's really, really cool. And it's going to be a collector's item, so you're going to get that for you. It's a $20
to get in, yeah.
With that, you're going to get that commemorative thing. You're going to get one fill of cider or non-alcoholic if you're teetotal or you don't want to drink or whatever. They've got some beautiful non-alcoholic ciders there as well. They're really, really, really good. So you get that, or you could get whatever you want, water in there if you like. But you've got that. And you're going to get an entry to the door prize as well. Right. We'll have a door prize. So all in all, there's going to be some fantastic stuff going on.
And it's for a good cause. We're raising money for Celtica.
Yes,
so
we are.
The more the merrier, right?
We will, believe me, we will be there asking people for donations. We'll probably be running our tombola and all sorts of fun stuff like that. So... Yes, sell it, Anton. Sell it. Right. Well, no, just come. Come.
We think we're going to try to organize like a 50-50 raffle and maybe a tombola. We'll see how we get on this week because
it's a busy week.
It's nuts.
It's a busy week for us. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we were talking yesterday, and they're going to have a food truck there that has like French fries, chicken nuggets, pizza. Fun junk foody stuff. And then obviously they have a cider to drink. You can get soda or water, canned things, but they have a cooler, of different drinks if you don't want to drink cider. But let me tell you, their cider's delicious.
Good.
I'm not sure exactly what flavors they'll have while we're there, but they had last time we went blueberry, strawberry, ginger. And then, of course, apple ciders, but they were all really delicious. And I had the non-alcoholic one because I was designated driver, but I
Probably
did
just
taste
as well.
the others. And it was lovely, like a champagne kind of elder champagne. It was really nice. So there'll be something for everyone. It's an evening where we can get together and socialize with our tribe, right? We always have our rituals and Sabbath circles, but we don't have a lot of time to just get together and talk and laugh and
you laugh until it hurts.
Yeah.
And there will be, you know us, we're a bunch of ham bones. We've got, and it's going to be so nice. This is something that's been, we've wanted to do for years and years and years and years, and we've had this tiny little Mari, and we're still going to wake her. Just exactly
she's
the same
definitely
way.
going to stay in the annex.
She's going to be, she's not being usurped. So, but for the first time, we actually have a real Mary Lloyd. We've named her Mary Beard Newith, which means Mary of the New World. And this is our first year, so we're kind of feeling the water. We're going, but maybe this wassail might turn into quite an interesting thing and pull some interesting folks from all over.
Shauna says they had an apple caramel cider last weekend. That was nice.
Witch Go could be funny. I don't know if we could do Witch Go there.
I don't know if we could pull it off because there will be other people there. Their regular Saturday night crew of patrons. So that's going to be interesting.
Well, see, Tombola's not a lot easier to run. Maybe,
right, you don't have to get everybody's attention. You just have to have the attention of the one person that's tumbling. So I think we'll probably have a 50-50 and a tombola.
Yeah. And a door prize, definitely a door prize.
Oh yeah, definitely door prize.
And anything, we'll be there. We'll be there with buckets trying to get money out of people because we want Celtica to happen, and it can be. It's just we need to just get more people on board with making the idea a reality and willing to chip in a few bucks here and there, because like 1,000 people put in $10, there's 10 grand. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow.
1,000 people times 10, it's 10,000.
10 grand straight, and that's nothing. In the grand scheme of things, that's nothing,
The price of everything. Yeah.
But yeah, the price of everything. But it's coming. It's that time of year, where people start thinking about that. We're a 501c3. Remember that. It's all tax deductible.
Right. The Church of the Eternal Circle. It's tax deductible. Yep. Talk to your friends about Giving Tuesday.
Yes, please.
And we are still looking for that Celtica fundraiser who wants to make some money, raising money for us.
But you got to apply yourself to raising funds for us to do that. But there you go. It's fantastic. I assume you guys know what the idea of the Mary Lloyd actually is, but the idea is we carry this horse's skull, decorated in this beautiful sort of bridal veil and all that sort of thing. And we approach a hostelry typically, and the idea is you have this kind of mad rap battle of wits to actually gain entry into the place. And the idea is that she represents the Winter Queen, Rhiannon in her guise as Winter Queen. And she's there to remind us that winter is scary if we've not prepared for it. So it's like this kind of challenge. But it's one of these things that it almost died out. And were it not for some pious parson, which is why you always have to have a pious parson in there. Some pious
wrote
parson
down
around,
everything you're not allowed to do.
Shouldn't be doing this. Is bad. This is bad. The tradition survived in Wales.
Because he wrote down everything to do.
so people rediscovered it and went, oh, we'll bring that back. So it's either like the oldest new tradition or the newest old tradition, but we're super, super excited to have it. I mean, we first knew of the Mary Lloyd. I mean,
2014, Christopher introduced us.
Right, where we were in mid Wales, we didn't know. It started in South Wales allegedly, but we didn't come across it, and we were very, very Welsh. We weren't too far from Huntleth, which is
Welsh speaking.
Oh, totally Welsh speaking. Kind of. Yeah, they don't like you if you don't speak Welsh. So. Yeah.
Logan says he's getting Mormon ads. Honey, did you buy some special underwear
recently?
And that's why? Because, they're all about that special underwear. Anyway.
Ah, yes. 16-year-old kid called Elder. I love it. Right, anyway. Moving. Sorry. Who are we doing? What are we doing?
Sean is first.
Sean, of course, is first. Victory. Fantastic card, mate. Fantastic card. The horse adores you.
Oh, yeah. I don't know, I feel really drawn to the green blanket here, this prosperity, safety, security. I think this is going to be a really, really good week for you to feel grounded, rooted, part of things, and, abundant.
Yay. I got credit score ads. Okay.
God.
I don't know. Listen, we have no control over that. I can only apologise from the heart of my bottom, the bottom of my heart.
We have no control over it. And if we turn it off, they'll never show our show to anybody.
Yeah.
So you have to play their game, although it's really annoying.
It is a bit frustrating, to be perfectly frank.
All right. Gilda.
Can I call the shop? Apparently they have an issue. Oh, dear. Well,
Well, we're kind of in the middle of our show, Sean. Gilda, don't be depressed. It's easy to succumb to the dark side. You need to turn around to the cups of hope. Let that water go under the bridge. It's already passed. You can't get it back. And get yourself in a better space.
See, now I'm all distracted. I'm going to have to go.
Do you want to step out and
I'm going to
call
step out and take a look at it. If I need a computer, I have to use the other one here. No, I'll take my phone. And
Okay.
If we've got a systems failure or whatever, I'm just going to have to fix it.
So I'll just continue.
You
So
continue.
I know that Gilda Anton would tell you that abo bin bibant. If you want to be a leader, you have to be a bridge. That's what he's going to say about this card. But sometimes the bridge we make is between the conflict we're having within ourselves, right? Sometimes the bridge we make is within ourselves, to the part of us that is negative and wants to give in to things we can't change, and the part of us that is more knowledgeable and understands that we alone have the power to change. All right, so next is Logan. Logan's on a path towards allowing himself to live in beauty, right? If I were going to liken this energy to the tree of life, I would see it as Tifereth, the sphere in the center that you can get anywhere from, right? You can travel up, you can travel sideways, you can travel down. It's about divine understanding of the will, because this card is very yellow, and also feeling like you have the backing, the money to put where your mouth is. So I feel that this is going to be a good week for you to kind of settle down, make some plans, and see what direction you're going in. Peggy. First thing I'm going to tell you is I think you should be very mindful of driving, especially closest to home. Sometimes that's where we have those little episodes where we think, oh man, did I stop for that stop sign back there? Because it's so familiar to us that our conscious mind can just be on autopilot and our subconscious mind starts doing things. So I think there's a lot of autopilot, like I was saying, the zombie apocalypse. So if you don't want to get a speeding ticket or you don't want to be involved in somebody else's crazy, then make sure you're not on autopilot. It's easy to do, right? Things that are like Groundhog Day, things that we do repeatedly, especially driving here to there, short distance driving. Things might be a little bit tricky. So try to stay present and avoid any accidents. Jess. Sometimes when we achieve going through a doorway, for a time we feel veiled from family and friends who haven't gone through that same experience, right? So you may feel a little bit on the outside looking in right now because you have climbed something, you've accomplished something, you've stepped through some sort of struggle into a higher vibration. And sometimes when we raise our vibration, people that are close to us need time to adjust to that change, right? So I'm not saying that you're going to divorce friends or step away from family or anything like that. I'm saying there might be an energy like that there that might take a little time to process before you feel like you're truly, part of that again. So you may have new experiences, new eye-opening things that give you a different perspective. We say that sometimes once you see something, you can't unsee it. So there may be something going on like that for you. But, you'll be all right. Savannah. It's very, very important that you use your past experience to move forward. Even though you may be learning new things, dealing with very difficult things, and dealing with the energy of the unusual that we've never seen before, I believe you have enough life experience and enough experience with your current things that you're trying to persevere that you can draw upon this experience to propel you forward. This card in the Minor Arcana can represent Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is higher thinking and higher justice. So time to think a little bit outside the box and use what you already know to lay the groundwork for moving forward. I also am getting something going on around the 8th of December that could be very pivotal as a positive answer to something. I don't know where this stuff comes from. I'm just telling you. All right. Helena. Neither here nor there, neither up nor down, neither in nor out, neither conscious or unconscious. This is very much about being in two places at one time. When we are prone to be psychic or empathic or deal with the spirit realm, and there is a great outcry like there has been, we are called upon even more to be in that liminal space, right? If you could imagine standing in the doorway, you are no longer standing in the place you've come from, and you have no longer achieved, and you have not yet achieved moving into the next room. So you're kind of in that liminal space. And I think that this might be where you're at this week, receiving messages, trying to figure out how to deliver those messages, trying to figure out which messages need to be delivered and which ones don't. So hang in there. I think you're in that that space of indecision. Step back, step forward. Don't know. Okay. Okay. Susan, way down here. Susan. Sometimes we feel really overwhelmed and a bit burdened by all the things that are calling upon our strength. This guy is carrying a lot of things for others. This is not his entire baggage here. He's carrying other things. So these are things that you're trying to learn, things that you're trying to be an activist for, things that you're trying to keep a balance for, the mundane things that are your obligations you may have to other people or to work or to teaching. A lot of things happening this week and really trying to keep the balance. Sometimes when we feel that we don't have support for all these things we're carrying, we could end up having some stress in our back or some back pain. So be mindful not to overdo it and keep yourself on an even keel.
Hello, everybody.
All right, nothing's burning down.
We're things tend to connect to the network better when the network cable's actually plugged in. I do not know how that came unplugged.
I'm telling you, leading up to the Mercury retrograde. Isn't that like the first part of troubleshooting, though?
Is it plugged in and turned on? Well, when I couldn't see the damn computer on the network, we know it's got to be something like that.
All right.
So,
I'm up to Laura. And,
Hello, Laura.
And since I've done them pretty much all myself, I'm just going to continue with that.
Go for it. I'll just sit here and be happy.
You do card of the week for us, okay?
Oh, no.
All right. So this is Laura.
Such responsibility.
Laura, change is going to come, right? Whenever we see a moon on a card, we know there's a change at hand. And this guy is dressed in red. So this red is that base chakra, rooted, grounded, safety, security. You may be in a place where you're going to uproot some things and make some big changes. And the reason why is, even though you've built this foundation, you know that the missing cup is not here. What you're missing resides somewhere else, in a different thought process, with a different tribe of people, with a different understanding, or with an actual physical move. So you know the change is not going to come until you make the choice to change. You make the choice to move forward to something different, because you know you're not going to achieve what you want to achieve. You're not going to get that missing piece by doing nothing. If you want that missing piece, you have to go get it.
So there.
All right. And Cass. Oh.
There's one for you.
This is the only card that Pamela Coleman Smith did not sign, because she felt she did not want to always be the fool, right? So the fool is not someone who is foolish. The fool is somebody who doesn't have faith to take that leap forward. Skip always told us this story, and we might have said it before on here, but there were these two farmers that lived across the street from each other. And the fool woke up in the morning and told his wife, please to make him a new outfit, where half of it would be red on one side and the other half of it would be blue. So she did, and he set out on his journey. And he walked past these two farmers who had been friends their whole entire life. And when he got to the end of that road past them, they yelled at each other and said, did you see that fool wearing blue? And the other one said, he was wearing red. And they had this huge argument for hours, even though they had been friends forever, until the fool returned. So sometimes things are right in front of us and we just don't know how to see them, or we don't have faith that, things are not as they appear, nor are they otherwise. I know that sounds kind of vague, but I think you're protected in the white light. You have a certain amount of innocence. You have all the tools you need in your backpack. So go ahead and take that leap of faith.
So there you go.
All right, do for us card of the week, please.
Card of the week. She wants me to do card. I see it. What's this one sticking out here?
Five's a struggle.
Fives can be a struggle, but this is one of these things. It all depends on how you look at it, said the spider to the fly. So yeah, this could be somebody taking advantage of other people whose guard is down.
Winning by deceit.
Yeah, they've not really paid attention. They've not really engaged properly, and so this person could be nicking all the swords. However, this can also be somebody who's really good at helping others who have capitulated, lost hope.
They've thrown their sword down and given up.
Capitulated, given their head, lost their head. Yeah, maybe. It's interesting. I'll go while we talk about it. This person could be coming along, picking everything up, dusting everybody down, give them a cup of tea. Come on, let's get on with it,
Although he does look rather snarky about how he's taken everybody's swords. But my one sentence for this card is definitely winning by deceit. But yeah,
depends on how you look at it.
I think it's for this message, week. It's do not despair.
Yeah, it's for us. Do not capitulate. Do not drop your sword. And if you see somebody who has capitulated, give them a big hug, give them a cup of tea, put them back on their feet. Because then you can make a real difference. But yeah, age and treachery always comes youth and skill. I don't know. Does it?
Age and treachery overcomes youth and skill. Well,
I don't know.
That can be, yeah.
Can be. So
don't lose your head.
Don't lose your head.
Know that Mercury retrograde's coming. Know that the full moon is coming. Know that Pluto is moving into Aquarius. So that's a seismic, generational shift for the next 20 years. All right, peeps.
All right.
As usual, we have a few things to do.
One of three.
And we look very, very much forward.
Oh, no, we've got Juniper's missed everything. Well, do you want to pull her a card? Because you pulled everybody else. She just got here. Real quick.
We really look forward to seeing you for the Mari on Saturday night.
Yes.
Okay.
Rewind out everything and watch it from the beginning, Juniper.
All right. Juniper, it's really about respite. This guy's not dead. He's meditating. He's covered in gold, right? So this is the energy of the light of the sun. Figuring out, taking time, thinking about how to put themselves in the light, how to be seen, how to be understood. And sometimes we have to meditate, step back, and be still, and make a plan of how we're going to step into the limelight, how we're going to be creative, how are we going to be seen. So time to kind of take on that Mercury retrograde energy, rethink, redo, reorganize, and then redisplay.
As you do.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for the super chat as well. That's really very
all right,
kind
my
of you.
peeps.
All right, there you go.
Don't lose your head.
Don't lose your head. And speaking of heads, we've got a horse's one.
We've got a horse's head.
And we'll be...
See you on the 16th.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun.
At Fancied Cider.
Tell your friends. Come out, come out, come out. All right? Thank you so much. I'm sorry for deserting you in the readings part, but we had a little bit of a technical issue.
Peace, love, and joy. Oh, justice.
Ooh, justice.
I always look at the bottom card.
You always look at that?
Yeah.
Justice.
Justice. Peace, love, joy.
All right.
Happy, happy. See you
Be
next
well.
week if I don't see you sooner.
All right. Bye now. All right.
$4.98.
$4.98.